WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, tasting often rare and exotic whiskeys. But Jason, this is just a store pick. This is Maker's Mark Private Select. Well, this is a German store pick. This is the Oak Stave selection by TILAs Liste. TILA is T-I for Timo and L-A for Lambert. He works for the Bremer Spirituosen Kontor, BSC in Bremen. And they actually were able to bring a cask of this over here to Germany, which I'm very glad to say that I bought a couple different bottles of this. So I bought a case of it, 6 bottles. There are a total of 258 bottles. We have 54.6% ABV. So for you out there, it's 109.2. That rolls over the tongue a little bit better, doesn't it? 109.2 instead of 54.6. So, and then we always talk about the finishing staves. Now I'm going to pour a little bit in here. Not many private selects have made their way over to Germany. I'm going to say 8. I have not had a bad one yet. All right, so we have one of the Baked American Pure 2. I'm just going to tell us here very briefly what that means. Baked American Pure is American oak that is slowly toasted. BP, or Baked American Pure, is made from American oak and is then first stave sampled in the program. It adds notes of brown sugar, vanilla, caramel, and spice. Then we have 2 seared French cuvées. This is made from a French oak that is ridge cut and seared with infrared heat. We have toasty notes of oak and caramel. Then we have the Maker's 46 stave. It is one that started this whole experiment. It's made from seared French oak and delivers dried fruit, vanilla and spice. And there is now cast strength Maker's Mark 46 in America. We have not seen any of it over here in Europe yet. Please bring it. Bean Suntory, please. Maker's Mark, please. All right, so and then we have in here the roasted French Mocha. But Jason, this was discontinued in February of 2021. Yes. So the roasted French Mocha is French oak cooked on high in a convection oven. And it adds pleasant trace of coffee, maple, cacao. The Mocha stave was archived as of February 2021 and is no longer available for new recipes. As this is not the very first bottle here of this for the Bremen Spirituosen Kontor, they were, and any other participants of the Maker's Mark private selection who have previously used Mocha in their recipe will be able to recreate that recipe. However, no new recipes have access to this Mocha. The new recipes, if I one day do a private select, for example, would be the roasted French Mendiant, which began 2021. That is French oak cooked on low in a convection oven. We have milk chocolate, nuts, darker dried fruits. And we have 3 of the toasted French spice staves. So oak staves, French oak staves, toasted at first high heat, then at low temperatures in the convection oven. And this has a little bit of a flavor of smoke, of spice, and coumarin. So I have actually talked to a good friend of mine. He is the partner of the Bourbon News Deutschland, the only German language bourbon podcast in the world. We do once a month a review about what's new on the market in Germany. We talk about a focus theme. Last month in November was Cuvée Distillery in Chicago. Next month's going to be Bardstown Bourbon Company and Bardstown, and we also talk a little bit about the news and the new release, about an hour in length usually, and it's a great thing. And we just had the crazy idea. We talked about this and it was like, why don't we do our own? And if you take a look at the price, this is 104 euros and 90 cents. So we take 254 times 104.90. We're going to get 27,000 euros is the revenue from one barrel of Maker's Mark. Now, what they do is they put it in the cellar there at Maker's Mark. Oh, by the way, that's going to be my comparison whiskey, the cellar aged 2023. And they just put in these staves. Now, we think of staves as being this thick and this long. No, they're about this long, and they're almost like take up like, I'm going to say 5 sheets of paper. It's like 1 millimeter thick. They're about this thin, and they put it on a plastic ring with like clothespins, and you just clamp it on there, and they just hang it in there. They have on both sides. They have these those that ring, and so they can just put it and hang it in the barrel. Not touch the walls, but it just hangs in there. And after 9 weeks, the whiskey takes on a totally different flavor profile than was before. So it says here, barreled finished with oak staves. So those staves can be thick and they can be thin. And I think it was International Stave Company that developed that with them. Now, going back to my calculations, one single barrel has a revenue of 27,000 euros if we have the 258 bottles. But in order to get that revenue, that's including the import tax, that is including the VAT tax, that is including the alcohol tax, that is including shipping and handling and duties and everything else is involved in this. All right. So that is, we would not see, that's not our profit margin. All right. So, but I do think, and I did my calculations correctly, I do think we can get these bottles over at a wholesale price, including tax, including VAT, including customs and so on, for about 59 euros. So if I take that same number, 258 times 59, that means instead of the 27,000 euros, I only have 15,000 euros. So I could actually make about 12,000 euros deducting taxes, deducting excise tax, deducting everything else. But I could actually get these bottles over here into Europe, into my hands, and then give them on to people and sell them to people. I'm allowed to sell whiskey over here, all right? So I import, I sell, that's no problem. I have my nice little warehouses where I can store my whiskey, my pallets of whiskey and so on, and my partner's pallets from N10 and so on. That's very, very good. It would be about 15,000 euros that I would need to put up front before I even see the bottles. And that's a little bit of money. I don't know about you, but 15,000 euros is just a little bit of money where you think twice before doing this. If I was a store, if I was a restaurant or something like that, it'd be tiny, a little bit different, but I'm a very tiny micro. I like the way, I think Ralphie called himself a micro independent bottler. Micro. All right, and so 15,000 is a little bit of change. But someone I wrote in a comment in the Bourbon News podcast, he wrote, why don't you just sell the bottles in advance? Like half. And if you can finance it through the half of the people that get their bottles, send them off to them, and it's okay. They pay up front. You'd be able to have your fees and your money up front to reduce it by at least half. I was like, oh, that's an idea. So I'm going to get into that with my partner here and see if we're going to have a oak stave selection by Bourbon News Deutschland. My partner and I, we might just do that and finance it that way. Who knows? All right, so let's see. Anyone has done a Maker's Mark Private Select themselves? Now, in America, you need to have the store for that. And I know that in the UK, the British Bourbon Society have done that a few times, and so why not? Let's think about that here together. Good. All right. So a little bit of the cellar aged here. They were both actually in the same cellar. This for 9 weeks. This for many years. So this is 11 and 12-year-old stock. So usually it's 6. So between 5 and 6 years it was in there. When I visited 2017, I swear I saw barrels in the side there. I asked what they are. She said an experiment for the future. I was like, it could have been this. So, all right, on the nose. Oh, it's got some depth. It's got a lot of pecan. It's got a lot of wood. It's got a little bit of honey. I like over here. It's got a little bit more of a sweetness. Has a little bit, in comparison directly, a little bit of honeysuckle. But it also has a little bit of a alcoholic moment going on that I did not have over here. 57.85, 54.6. The Maker's Mark Private Select gets me on the nose. Sorry. My first reaction could be here, but the longer I get to know this whiskey, the more I want to drink it, the more I like it. I personally think the 104 euros and 90 cents is a little bit over the price of what it could have been and should have been. I would have went for 99 euros. That magical 100, ooh, it hurts. And I suspect that 89 would have been possible as well. But hey, we need to refinance the next one, don't we? So they're taking a business risk of bringing the bottles over here. Who knows who's going to buy it? They need to have their ducks in a row and make sure they don't lose money on something like that. Beautiful bottle design. The old bottle design I like. The new Maker's 46. I want this old bottle back. I love this bottle. This is just. I still love the juice in here, but no. So. Enough whining, complaining, and thinking out loud here. This is actually 70 milliliters. I think it actually says it on the, yep. So we here, we actually have the 70 cl on the bottom as well. Look at that. Do you see that, 70 cl? So this is a 70 cl bottle. So not the 75 that we normally have. 1001 possibilities here for our recipe, which can't be right because they've added a sixth stave because they discontinued the one and added the other one. So it was more than 1001 possibilities. Cheers. Wow. Oh yeah. This is very good. This is an A minus. Candied fruit, light chocolate, vanilla, creme brulee, honey. I get a tiny, tiny little bit of candied bananas, honeyed candied bananas. Very, very intensely balanced. There's nothing here that actually jumps out at you and just goes, look at me! But it's all just in harmony with each other. This is so good. A minus. Value for money, C. At 89 euros, it would have been a C plus. At 99 euros, it would have been a C. So very, very, very well done. I thoroughly like it. The interesting thing is you can add water, dilute it down if you're a wuss like me sometimes, and it's still good. Get a little bit of a raspberry. Oh yeah. This is the whiskey that just does this. Oh, it's like a slow burn, and then it's like, wow. I just love that. That's so fantastic. That's very, very, very nicely done. Yeah, it doesn't need water. Like it better without water, but even with water, it's very, very alluring. So, as a comparison, I did not like this bottle the first time I tried it. I just compared it to the normal 46. But I was not a fantastic fan of this. 159 euros, 104 euros. If you can find it. It was gone within days, if not hours, over here in Germany. Now on the nose, there is wood here, but it's harmony, it's peace, it's love, it's perfectly balanced. Over here, I have the feeling the wood is astringent. It pulls the saliva out of your bang, out of your cheeks here. Mm. This has a lot of good aspects to it. This is better. As I said, A minus, C plus, on a good day, B minus. Um, there's more cinnamon here. There's more of a alcohol sharpness here, and there's a wood astringency that's here different. The French oak is different than the American oak. Um, and here the after it goes, fizzles out a little bit with the aftertaste. This goes, yeah, it's almost like it has booster rockets at the end. This is so good at the end. Both of these have a longer than average finish. Both of these are good products, but I thoroughly enjoy the TILAs list here of the Maker's Mark Private Select with its 54.6% ABV. Good stuff here. Thank you very much for watching, liking, and subscribing. My question is, what is your favorite Maker's Mark product ever? So I want to try. I don't know if it's going to be my favorite, but it could be my favorite. Maker's Mark Cask Strength. I just recently saw it on this Bourbon Night video that, look, it's available here. It's like, I want. So I've never had it, but I want. And most of the best Maker's Mark products have been the private selects here. Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing, and seeing what we get over here in Germany for Maker's Mark from Beam Suntory and from the good old guys here at the Breva Spirituosen Kontor. Thank you very much, Timo. Bye-bye.